not paying attention to none of them. Oh, no more puffy juice. No more puffy juice.
So you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him.
I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there. You got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We was fighting.
You just brought a friend to Bora Bora?
Yeah.
And you're just with your friend?
Why are you putting me on the spot like this? Gosh.
I mean, you can say, why can't you say you're dating somebody?
I'm not dating anyone, though.
She's just a friend?
She's just a friend.
Want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died.
She wondered.
He must be the luckiest because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning. How many ways do I have to say it? These is wild. They pay big to do damage and procure victims. They're sex traffickers, and all of these bitches is whores. Sex worker. $250,000 a month to do strange shit at will. You couldn't wait for Cassie to run. You couldn't wait to be in Cassie's shoes. Carisha.
Just when it seemed the entertainment world had seen it all, a new lawsuit has surfaced, and it's turning heads. A case known as the Bone Shell lawsuit is now drawing serious attention, with shocking claims involving two of the biggest names in music, Diddy and Jay-Z. At the center of it all, allegations tied to a troubling situation involving a 13-year-old individual. While the full details remain sealed, insiders report that both music moguls are actively seeking to have the case dismissed before it gains more public traction. But that's not all. 50 Cent has added fuel to the fire by teasing an explosive new documentary. According to him, this project will reveal never-before-seen footage and connections to a rumored underground Hollywood network that has long been whispered about in industry circles. In past interviews, 50 has even made bold remarks suggesting that certain young individuals may have been harmed in ways meant to obscure their memories. Whether this documentary delivers those answers or raises more questions, one thing is clear: the public is watching.
There's footage. I have a tape of the party that Diddy gave after Shine was convicted. He was making people take tequila shots that was laced with certain drugs.
They pay big to do damage and procure victims. They're sex traffickers, and all of these bitches is whores. Sex worker.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
It's a way of passage to certain people in the entertainment business.
With all these people coming out against Diddy, do you think more people are going to come out?
It's a lot of people that, you got to realize is that everybody think, oh, everybody's coming out now. It's a lot of people that wanted to bring stuff out a long time ago, but the lawyers wouldn't take it. The lawyers wouldn't deal with it. There's footage. I have a tape of the party that Diddy gave after Shine was convicted.
I think about that really disturbing footage of Bieber, Odell Beckham, and Trey Songz.
Yes.
Like, and Trey's like literally sitting there playing Lookout.
Playing Lookout as Justin Bieber goes down on Odell.
The boy came up with his mouth wet.
Mouth wet?
Yo, dog, you gotta realize in that industry, a lot of people stand back and say, well, it happened to me. That's how some of them people pay their dues. And the people who don't go down like that don't be as great as the Ushers, as the Diddys. Cassie opened up a floodgate for lawyers to look at people's cases now and say, yeah, we might could get some money out of that. We might could do that. Yeah, he did abuse you. Nobody really cared at first. But now they see that a lot of this stuff may have some truth to it and the people can be paid for it.
They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. What kind of fucking asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pedophiles do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off, is he a good guy? Especially considering what happened to him. Especially considering that he sat Howard Stern, and Howard Stern said, would you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp? And his immediate response was, hell no! So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours.
As the buzz continues to grow, 50 Cent has officially confirmed that he's partnering with Netflix on a major documentary set to drop in early 2025. In a recent interview, he opened up about the challenges behind the scenes, explaining that the production is taking more time than expected. The reason? A constant wave of new claims connected to Diddy, which he says has made the situation feel overwhelming. According to 50, every time they think they've gathered everything, more information surfaces. He even compared the case to an octopus, with so many arms extending in different directions, each one pulling in a new and unexpected piece of the story. The complexity, he says, is what makes the project both difficult and important. And with Netflix backing it, the anticipation is only building.
We become friends in a strange way, you know?
Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like... Exactly.
I'm big in here, Robin.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family. And he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Justin, you know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Jay-Z and Diddy and a teenager, 13-year-old.
Right.
And we were speaking about just the statement.
Right.
The statement, you were saying you felt like that was calculated.
That was that the statement is something from, you can tell it's written by a lawyer. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says like you're gonna find out like how I'll handle this. And that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like the publicist would say. Right.
This is on your this is on
everything?
it says I don't know what's going on, but are we still going to have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for Kendrick. You know, I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back. The NFL, they won't necessarily be associated to that.
Right. Why do you not insert yourself, but you're on top of every topic, right?
Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm participating. I'm being part of the culture. I'm just telling my opinion.
Right.
Look,
because you're part of the culture.
Like I can't say anything now. I'm out of it. I'm like I'm going to Dre's studio and just sit with Dre.
Right.
And then maybe I stay out of trouble.
As the investigation deepens, more familiar names are being brought into the conversation, including Beyonce, Jay-Z, Usher, and even individuals with known legal histories like R. Kelly and Danny Masterson. Reports suggest that these figures may be connected in varying degrees to a broader network of troubling controversies. One particularly sensitive claim involves Usher and his early mentorship of a young Justin Bieber. Sources allege that Usher may have played a key role in introducing Bieber to Diddy during his early rise to fame. What's raising eyebrows is a claim that Diddy was granted legal guardianship over 13-year-old Justin for a 48-hour period, a decision that many now question. While Usher himself reportedly experienced similar pressures as a teen in the entertainment world, some now speculate whether this move was about guidance or an attempt to step back from the growing influence of Diddy. Though the full truth remains unclear, these details have fueled further speculation about how deep and complex these connections really are.
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
So come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize the...
As much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them. And it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally.
Questions. You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that shit in my past.
Everybody got a
I
little
took,
bit.
I took,
Not that it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't fucking give her a drink so she forget what the fuck happened. What the fuck is going on here, bro? I took the pill. Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the fucking drug to perform. So she can remember and possibly love me for that. Did it work? What the fuck? Yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you said it's the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. Well, I don't know why it's so hard for people
So
to
for people to
acknowledge
feel like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something, or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too, then this is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues, and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what is that?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with them.
Usher has spoken publicly in the past about the pressures he faced as a young artist under Diddy's mentorship, an admission that adds new weight to
Living in
current
this
discussions.
shame, living in all this sort of stuff in my
Especially
past, and I wasn't
unsettling
able
to
to
many
move on.
observers that,
Do you think the
knowing what
person
he has
that
gone through,
maybe
Usher
you
may
were
have allowed
then
another
was on a
young
path of
star,
self-destruction?
Justin Bieber,
Oh, for
to be
sure.
exposed to
Yeah,
similar
I would have, for sure,
circumstances.
100%.
This
yeah.
concern has
It
only
would have been
grown
no
in recent
bueno.
weeks,
It was
following an
bad.
emotional moment
I
from
don't know if I'd
Bieber
be
during a
alive for
recent
sure.
interview. As
It
he
was
reflected
dark,
on his
but I
journey,
want to definitely
Justin
tell
broke down
my
in
story
tears,
so that
sharing the pain
if that
and shame he
resonates to
still
anybody,
carries
that
from his early
they
experiences
can
in the industry.
hopefully
His raw
learn from
honesty
it.
has
Well, for
struck
me,
a chord with
you know,
fans
music
and
comes from
industry
somewhere.
watchers alike,
Right.
Maybe it comes from
reigniting
this
a
youthful
broader
naivety and this
conversation
desire
about
to
the darker
escape
corners
something.
of Hollywood.
And then you get
With
out
more
there in
people
front of the
speaking
world,
out,
and then it comes
questions
from a
around the
place of
treatment
wanting
of young
more of
performers
it.
and the
Yeah,
structures
I
meant
mean,
to
just think
protect
about
them
how
are
young I
taking center
was and so
stage once
impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, you know, and like, I just want people to understand, like, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems in my life. So, yeah, thank you for being here and helping me tell that story. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Do you realize how important the story is? Every time I have a conversation with someone who's been through this unique type of experience, I'm searching for some kind of truth that can help.
I commend you for going there and asking the tough questions and the things that people don't want to talk about, and they don't want to go there because it's revealing, and I want people to take a look at my story and hopefully.
I don't want to talk about what they confided in me, but it's a lot of stuff that has been going on, and like there's tapes that are running around with women. There's tapes that is running around with women, and they want to get a hold of those tapes so they could bring them, you know, to the lawyers. And those tapes do exist, but it's gonna be hard for them to get because a lot of people don't want them to know that they was in those tapes and they was a part of it.
That is over the edge. Like, you can't complain about this sitting here playing in your face when all you gotta do is tell the truth. Shut that whole shit down.
In a candid moment during his appearance on The Howard Stern Show, Usher reflected on a period of his life that continues to draw attention. He spoke openly about living with Diddy as a teenager, revealing that he was introduced to an adult lifestyle at just 13 years old. According to Usher, this included being taken to exclusive parties and nightclubs, places far removed from what most would consider age-appropriate. While he didn't dive into every detail, the glimpse he offered was enough to reignite conversations about the kind of environment he was placed in during his formative years. Many listeners were left wondering how such situations were allowed to happen, and whether enough safeguards were in place to protect young talent navigating fame so early. Usher's comments have added another layer to the ongoing dialogue about responsibility and the blurred lines of mentorship in the entertainment industry.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor
some...
Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what
Camp.
it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In
to...
the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Uh-huh.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people
all
are
of
hanging
these-
around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your
Jodeci,
parents were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige, they ain't nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that. And they may be doing something. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
Where did you hear it?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that. And then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And one probably say, yo, man, I don't F with them. Man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, Nick was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up with somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Y'all put it together.
And what you mean by Diddy count?
Remember? He was on one of the talk shows. The white guy with the curly hair. What's his name? The white guy with the curly hair. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp. But yet and still you praise him.
Yeah, man, you said that, I know you can't go into detail, but you said that it was a situation where Diddy sent him to the hospital?
Let Usher explain that to you. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York. People. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive. Didn't have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now. Change his life.
You mentioned minors, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making a lot of allegations.
Same way they made allegations about Usher. When Usher was younger,
I mean, do you think that there's any credibility to these allegations?
When there's smoke, there's fire. Why would Diddy be tapping this kid in his chest to see if he wired? And asking him, are you wired? Why would he be confronting that kid? Why would Justin Bieber make a song about, what is it? I got smashed at a Diddy party or something like that? Why? There's reasons behind all this. So, where there's smoke, there's fire, Cam. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, Justin, he's been real quiet about this. I mean, I think like a lot of the other celebrities.
I was reading something, Cam, and the kid said after he went to Diddy camp, he started using drugs so heavy and was smashed every day. What would cause a kid who wanted to be an artist in the music business all of a sudden to start getting high and drinking and drugging, popping pills and smoking? What would cause a kid to do that?
I mean, usually trauma.
Or a Diddy party.
Former bodyguard Gene Deal has stepped forward with claims that have stirred even more concern within the entertainment world. In a recent statement, Deal alleged that many insiders were fully aware of what he described as a questionable dynamic between Diddy and Usher during their early years. He recalled a troubling incident where Usher allegedly required medical attention following Diddy's reported behavior, and further suggested that documentation might exist to support this account. While the details remain unverified, Deal's comments have added another layer to the ongoing discussion about exploitation and oversight in the music industry. He also claimed that, after the alleged incident, some celebrities began quietly distancing themselves from Usher, a shift that has raised additional questions. Why, many ask, did those around Diddy remain silent for so long? And how many more stories like this are still waiting to come to light? The industry's long-standing culture of silence is once again being examined under a very public spotlight.
Statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let
be.
me rephrase
Right.
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much.
We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
As new evidence and witness testimonies emerge, the truth behind this scandal is slowly coming to light. But will justice finally be served? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Another name that has resurfaced in these conversations is York, who has publicly acknowledged spending time with Usher in the past. There are documented instances showing Usher attending events and parties hosted by York. Moments that, while seemingly casual at the time, are now being re-examined through a different lens. These past connections have sparked fresh speculation, prompting many to revisit the nature of their relationship and how it may have influenced Usher's early experiences in the industry. While no concrete allegations have been made against York in this context, the renewed attention has led to broader discussions about the company young artists keep and how those relationships may shape their paths, for better or worse. According to recent reports, there are tapes involving Diddy and Justin Bieber that are now said to be in the hands of federal authorities. These materials are reportedly being reviewed by the FBI, and if true, they could play a major role in uncovering deeper truths behind long-standing industry rumors. Former bodyguard Gene Deal has commented once again, stating that the rumors we've heard so far only scratch the surface. He alleges that Usher, Justin Bieber, the late Aaron Carter, and several other young celebrities may have all been drawn into what he describes as a deeply troubling Hollywood network. Insiders believe that if the evidence submitted to investigators is as serious as some suggest, it could finally expose the full scope of the allegations and potentially lead to real legal consequences for anyone found responsible. Clip 9. New developments continue to emerge in the investigation surrounding Diddy, with reports now claiming that federal investigators have seized 11 flash drives and 8 videotapes. These materials allegedly contain sensitive footage that could link Diddy to inappropriate behavior involving minors. According to insiders, the tapes were originally held by his late ex-partner, Kim Porter, who had reportedly safeguarded them before her passing. It's believed she entrusted the recordings to a close friend, Courtney Burgess, for protection. Now, Burgess has been subpoenaed in connection with an ongoing federal case and is said to have surrendered the materials to authorities. Sources indicate that parts of the footage have already been reviewed by a grand jury, a move that signals the seriousness of the claims and how far the investigation may already be progressing. With the federal spotlight intensifying, many are now questioning how deep this case could go and who else may be drawn into its orbit. Clip 10. With more than 36 legal cases now filed against Diddy and a growing list of alleged associates, spanning both civil and criminal courts, the music industry is facing what could become a historic reckoning. These lawsuits don't just target one man. They threaten to peel back layers of secrecy that have surrounded the entertainment world for decades. If even a fraction of the claims prove true, we could be witnessing the unraveling of one of the most powerful empires in modern music.